Hello and welcome to 1000 Simple Recipes. Today I thought I'd do one of my favourite Thai noodle stir fries, the chicken pad Thai. Now the reason I think this meal has become so popular is because of all its fantastic contrasting flavours and textures, and it's good for you too. And as always, I'll do everything from scratch, so here it is. Now here's our ingredients for our pad Thai, chicken pad Thai. You could have a seafood pad Thai with prawns. I've got some thin strips of chicken breast, free range. I've got an onion and some garlic, 2 eggs. I've got some shallots or green onions, prepared in strips. And I've got some fresh lime cut in quarters. I've got 1 carrot that's been matchsticked. I've got my pad Thai sauce, which I made earlier, when you can check the link for that. I've got some raw peanuts that are going to be roasted. You could just buy roasted peanuts in the shop. And I've also got some garnishes, like with some chives here, some garlic chives. I've got some fresh chilli, and I've got some Thai Basil. And I've also got my rice noodles, which we'll prepare. And as always, the ingredient and recipe is in the description box below. The first thing I'm going to do is soak my rice noodles in boiling water for 6 minutes and roast my peanuts on a low heat for about 5 minutes while constantly tossing them in the pan until golden. After 6 minutes, I strained and rinsed the noodles with cold water and I cut them into smaller sections. Here we are putting our chicken pad Thai together, and I'm just going to add a bit of oil, and the first thing we're going to cook is our eggs, and I'm just going to add a little bit of our garlic here to the fry pan and a little bit of onion just to add some flavour to the eggs. And this should only take just a few seconds. We just want to cook those eggs up, and I'd say right now we'll take them out now. That's enough. So we're now going to do our chicken, and I'm just going to add the garlic, a bit more garlic and a bit more onion and a little bit more oil, just so we can fry those up. And we'll just get the rest of that egg off the base of the pan. As you can see, it's starting to get really, you want this pan now, that when we're going to cook the chicken, to be really hot, and that's really starting to heat up now. So I'm scraping all that egg off the bottom, and now I'm going to just add my chicken and a little bit of the pad Thai sauce. So I'm just a spoonful of the pad Thai sauce. And then we're just going to stir it around. And we just want to cook these really quickly and take it off the heat before we cook. You want to keep your chicken really tender. And so I'm just going to cook this really quickly. And this should only take like 1 minute until we get that white colour that we're looking for. My feeling is that's about it. That's as far as we want to take it, and we can now take that off. We'll fry off the rest of our garlic and onions. We'll just scrape off that rest of that pad Thai sauce and chicken, and all we just want to fry this for about 20 seconds or so before we add our carrots, which we'll add now. And we'll just fry them for a few seconds and get them up. You want to try and keep the pan, hot. So you just want to add everything that we're going to add next gradually, So we'll keep the heat up on this wok. You could also use a frying pan, but you know, as you can see, you probably need a good size area to work with so you can stir fry. So a wok's always very handy to have in the kitchen. And we'll now add our green onions or shallots, and we'll just fry them for about 10 seconds. We're going to add our noodles now. And I'm also going to add the rest of that pad thai sauce that we made, which I've got about probably a third to half a cup of the sauce, probably half a cup of the sauce there. And we'll just stir that around. And what you can do here is you can add either some water or some stock to this, just to loosen up these noodles. And we're just going to fry. I've got a bit of stock here, but you could use water, it's not a big thing. I've got a little bit of stock, and I'm going to add about probably a third of a cup. That's about as much as we want. And that's just going to bring everything together. And you know, doing this meal, you can add so many different vegetables. You could add tofu to this. You could, if you're a vegetarian, you could just add fried, instead of the chicken, add the tofu. You could do prawns with this, or shrimp. All right, now time to add those noodles now al dente. And so I'm just going to add my chicken back to the mix, and my eggs, and I'll add half my roasted peanuts. This is what gives it all these fantastic textures and flavours, is those roasted peanuts really give it a crunch to the meal. And you've got the soft noodles and the fresh vegetables in there. I've added half my garlic chives and my Thai basil. The rest we'll put fresh on top, and that's pretty much it. That's right there. We can plate this up and garnish it, and it's ready to go onto the table. So let's try this chicken pad thai. I tell you, you've got to try this. There's so many flavours and textures going on here. So that's my version of the tasty chicken pad thai. Check out all my other great videos on my channel, and that's all I have for you this week, and I'll see you next week with another great recipe on 1000 Simple Recipes.